Hey y'all, coming to you from the international headquarters of ScottieDTV, but I was at the Atlanta Motorsports Park with Concept One Pulley Systems. Now this next car is a 72 Chevelle. Let me tell you, Jimmy's the only guy I know that can get us kicked out of a place that has no rules. You know what I'm saying? He's that kind of guy, but that's why he was invited. He's got a cool car, he drives the heck out of it. I know y'all are gonna like it. Let me get the camera turned around, we'll take a quick look at it. Jimmy, thanks so much for coming out. Tell me a little bit about your hot rod, brother.
All right, I got a 72 Chevelle I've had since right out of high school, and I've drag raced it. We've played around with it for years and years. Finally, about 3 years ago, we restored the car, and it sat around the garage. We still drove it some, but got out, restored it in 10 weeks before the Power Tour.
Oh, no kidding.
We pulled the chassis off, did the entire car, powder coated chassis, paint, interior, brake line, fuel line, engine, transmission, rear end.
Holy smokes.
Top to bottom.
What, were you just trying to set a record for Guinness, or what was the story with that?
No, we were trying to get ready for the Power Tour. That's the way it is. Get a hankering to drive a different car on the Power Tour, and the next thing you know, it's 2.5 months till the Power Tour. So we set in and started and finished it up. Had about 100 miles on the car when we left for the tour.
So it did just fine out on the Power Tour?
Yeah, we had a few problems, of course, but that's one thing about the Power Tour. You fix them and keep it going.
That's right. That's what it's about, right?
It is.
If you're going to take a hot rod for like 2,000 miles and don't think you're going to have some kind of snafu, then you haven't been around hot rods too long.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, how did you get this car out of high school, though?
There's a pretty good little story behind that. One of my cousins bought the car brand new. I was born in '62. The car's a '72. I was 10 years old. And they told me the story about it. I didn't remember, of course. I was small. And she said, they was older. And she said, when they bought it, come in, said, I just kept walking around the car. At 10 years, I was walking around. She called it drooling. I was drooling over the car at 10 years old. And before they left, I never said anything. And before they left, she said, I looked at her and said, if y'all ever want to sell this car, I want to buy it.
At 10?
At 10.
Wow.
So in 1980, she drove the car for whatever that was, 8 years, back and forth to Atlanta every day. She worked in Atlanta and had never been garaged. She called me in 1980, and I wasn't exactly out of high school yet. And she said, Jimmy, she said, we're going to sell this car. She said, I always promised you that I'd sell you this car if we got ready to sell it. I said, all right. I said, what do you think you want for the car? She said, well, she said, there's a man here wanting to buy it. I hadn't saw the car in years.
Right.
She said, there's a man here wanting to buy it. And she said, he's offering $1,500 for the car. And I said, oh, Miss Dee Dee, I don't think I can afford that kind of money. She said, well, what do you think you could afford? I said, I don't know. I said, I make $10 an hour. I said, I finished my credits. I've not even graduated yet. I'm working for like $10 an hour. She said, do you think you can afford $500? I said, yes, ma'am. So she said, when you get here, she said, this man is still standing in the yard. She said, you come in and pay me. Don't walk out there with Hoyt. So that's what I did. I walked in and paid her and walked out, and she come out and said, Hoyt, the car's sold. He can go now. Huh. So that's how I wound up with the car.
How cool is that?
The vinyl top was peeling. It had surface rust, faded. All the stripes was faded on it. You could hardly see the stripes left on the hood, and I've had it ever since. What
motor you got, Jimmy?
Well, I got a 498 built by Johnny Thomas Racing Engines in Cumming, Georgia here. And one of the things we always did in the cars when you build a big engine was keeping belts on it was a problem. And now with these Concept Ones, you don't have that problem anymore. The serpentines, they stay on. Right. It's got auto rad radiator, John transmission's transmission, Curry rear end. The engine made on an engine dyno, I think it made about it made about 650.
Huh, he almost lied to us, folks.
Yep.
Yeah. Jimmy was giving a parking lot story, where you're drag racing.
I thought you wanted to race. It's only 400 if we're racing.
That's right.
But on the engine dyno, it's about around 650 and about 630 torque.
Jimmy, it's a cool car, brother. Thanks so much for bringing it out.
All right.
What can I say? You got a video that starts out with a burnout, ends with a burnout. That's Jimmy for you, baby. A 1972 Chevelle from the Concept One Pulley System track day at the Atlanta Motorsports Park. How cool is that? Hope y'all have enjoyed it. See ya!
Hey y'all, make sure you subscribe to this channel and visit ScottieDTV.com for an easy way to search the hundreds of videos I have posted. Either click the link in the description or the one at the end of this video.